In this question, we need to input a number using an input dialog box, right? And we need to ensure that the number contains 2 digits. So we need to continue to input until the number input does contain 2 digits. In other words, the user could repeatedly input a number that's not 2 digits. You need to continually prompt the user to input a 2-digit number. And eventually, when the user does input a 2-digit number, you could possibly say thank you for inputting the 2-digit number. I'm going to present 2 solutions in solving this problem. The first one, we'll use a repeat until loop, and then we'll look to see how we can solve this using a while loop. So here I'm going to start by saying repeat. And what do I want to repeat? I want to first get the number using the input dialog box. So I'm going to say num is input dialog box returns a string. So I'm going to go from string to int. And we're going to say input dialog. The input dialog has 3 parameters. The first parameter is the title. So I'm going to say input. The second parameter is your message. That's going to be enter number. Well, you actually should say enter 2-digit number, because that's what we want the user to do. And the third parameter, you can leave that as null or blank. So we've requested the user to input a 2-digit number, and we will stop this loop only once they've entered the 2-digit number. So we're going to say repeat all of this until we have a 2-digit number. Now the question is, when do we have a 2-digit number? When is a number 2 digits? Well, if you think about it, 2-digit numbers start from 10 and they go all the way up to 99. So that's the range for a 2-digit number. So in this until, I want to repeat until the number is greater than or equal to 10. That's my first condition, which needs a bracket. And the number must be less than or equal to 99. So what's going to happen here is this repetition, this loop is going to continuously repeat inputting a number, asking the user to enter a 2-digit number until the number is in this range. In other words, it must be greater than equal to 10 and it must be less than equal to 99. So if I input a number like, let's say, 250. So if you enter 250, is 250 greater than 10? Yes. But is it less than equal to 99? No, we need both the conditions to be satisfied. Therefore, it's going to continue repeating. And if I input a number like 5, is 5 greater than equal to 10? False. Is 5 less than 99? True. So again, I don't have both conditions met. But if I input a number like 15, why am I getting that coming up? So let's just erase this. Okay. And let's get rid of that. And now if I input a number like 15, is 15 greater than or equal to 10? That's true. And is 15 less than or equal to 99? That's true. So when the conditions are met, then the loop stops. And then we could possibly display a message. Let's just go show message. And at this stage, we could say that number is 2 digits. Because once you come to this point in your program, it means you've exited the loop. So that's how you would use a repeat until to validate the input and to ensure that the input is 2 digits. Now the question is, how would we write the same program using a while loop? All right, so let's write this using a while loop. So using a while loop, I'm now going to first input my number. So we write the program a little different, right? Let's just put a line there. And now we are going to say, let's get the number, num, and we're going to go string to int, and we're going to have input dialog. And again, the 3 parameters, I'm going to take a shortcut and I'm just putting the parameters, but nothing in it. But your input dialog would be the same as we did in the previous case. So I've input my number. Now that I've got the number, I need to test it because I'm using a while loop. So I'm going to say while. So the looping is going to take place while the number is not 2 digits. And it should stop when it is 2 digits. So the condition is going to be a little different from the way we wrote the conditions in the repeat until. So in the while, we're going to say while num is less than 10, or the num is greater than 99, do and begin. So if the number is less than 10, it means it's a single digit number. And if the number is greater, or if the number is greater than 99, it means it's more than 2 digits. It could be 3 digits or 4 digits or 5 digits for that matter. And in either instance, I need to get the user to input another number. So I'm going to repeat this statement here. It's going to come in again, and I'm going to say string to int input dialog. And again, I'm taking a shortcut with the dot, dot, dot. I think you should understand what that means. It's the same as previously, input and end. And as long as the user inputs a number, like 123, for example, well, let's start off here. The user inputs a number like 123. Is 123 less than 10? That's false. Remember, we got an or here. Or means I just need one of them to be true to come inside. Is 123 greater than 99? True. So this condition is now true, therefore I come inside and I ask the user to input another number. This time around, let's enter the number 12. Since I have it there, let's input the number 12. I'm in a loop, so I go back up and test the condition. Is 12 less than 10? That's false. Or is 12 greater than 99? That's also false. And if both are false, you come out of the loop and then you have your show message to say number is 2 digits. But if the user entered something like 5, instead of 12, they entered 5. When I go back up, is 5 less than 10? True, but 5 is not greater than 99. But the fact that one of them is true brings me back into the loop. So if they choose to enter 1,000 and I go back and test, this condition is going to be true and it's going to come back in. So as long as the number being input is not 2 digits, you are stuck inside of this loop and you will not be able to exit the loop until you enter a 2-digit number like 56, and the first condition will fail and the second condition will fail, causing the loop to stop, and it'll print number is 2 digits. So there's a couple of things you should take note of using a repeat until. You repeat until the condition is met. And the condition we wanted to meet was a 2-digit number. And a 2-digit number is when the number is greater than or equal to 10 and less than or equal to 99. But with the repeat until, you repeat until this condition is satisfied up here. And in this case, the conditions that we have is if the first one is if it is a single digit, if it's less than 10, single digit, it could go into the negatives as well. And the second condition is looking at if it is more than 99, which means it's 100 and more, 3 digits or more. And if one of them holds true, the repetition is just going to continue. Another difference you should take note of is that with the repeat until, we had only one input. But with the while, we had an input before the while statement, and we had an input inside a while statement. So the while statement must satisfy something called ITC, where I means initialize, T means test, and C means change. So here, what are we testing? Always understand what it is you are testing. So I'm testing num. There we are. Both cases, I'm testing num. Because I'm testing num, make sure that you've initialized num. And this is where I'm giving num a value. If num did not have a value, that means you cannot test it. So if I'm testing num, make sure you initialize it. And then C means to change. So inside the loop, make sure that num is changing. So this is where I have my I, this is my T, the test, and this is my C, which is the change. So I could solve this particular question using a repeat until, in which I would have used because I think it's more appropriate to solve this, but I could also have solved it using a while loop.